spent a total of 10 years between them, cramped in cellars and dark rooms around Beirut before their safe return in 1991. It's an experience that leaves scars, but generally, the longer it goes on, the better the chances of survival. It's in the first few minutes and hours that the hostage runs the greatest risk of being killed. At this acute stage of a kidnap, even the most organized terrorists will be jumpy. As a cabinet minister, it's highly likely that Miss Long will have had hostage survival training. This includes simple guidelines to staying alive.
The single most important thing, head and shoulders above everything else, is the crucial what to do in those crucial first few minutes or hours. If you lose control, if you lose it during that time, it's going to be very, very dodgy. Nerves are raw, everybody's feelings are on edge, and I think that sometimes people will find themselves in a position where they've lost control by being irritable or angry, and that's extremely dangerous because hostage takers don't like hostages who get angry.
So, it's important to stay calm and encourage others to do the same. Passive cooperation is the key, and you should stay alert.
To remain alert is really the name of the game for the person who's taken hostage. To learn as much as you possibly can about your captors, to learn where you are, to find out what their motivation is. Those things are really important. If you put in a dark cell and there's no light getting in, you can become very confused because of the sensory deprivation, because you don't know what's day and what's night. You can bet your bottom dollar that the captors are not going to help you with that by dishing you up breakfast regularly at 8 AM and dinner at 6.
Forget about home comforts. They may come later, but you should prepare yourself mentally for a long, drawn-out ordeal.
Speaker says...
It's not long before the minister's predicament hits the headlines. The Moldovan Liberation Army, or MLA, use the media to make their demands known. The pressure is on both the Moldovan and British governments to get something done.
Gordon. Hi, Eddie Stone.
Back in Moldova, the team meet with a local intelligence officer.
We're going to try and find out numbers of people involved, how motivated they are, how likely they are to carry out any threats which they've given, what weapons they've got, transport, any little piece of information that we can gather from this guy, we will try and get.
Pretty vicious. They've been pretty vicious.
They get the most basic of briefings. From security cameras, 3 of the terrorists have been identified. They're known to the secret police. Biographies and photographs are supplied. But where they're being held is anyone's guess. The hostages are being moved regularly. This is a familiar tactic used in urban environments that makes it almost impossible to pin the terrorists down. But the security tapes reveal more than just the number of terrorists and the weapons they used.
What puzzles me is how they actually got through the perimeter, you know. I mean, there could have been any perimeter defence there, you know. Well,
clearly it's an inside job. The team will return to the chateau to look for more clues, but they won't be sharing any more intelligence with the local forces. From now on, they need to hold their cards close to their chest.
The whole thing stinks.
On the move again for the 3rd time in as many days, the hostages are being taken to a deserted army barracks. However, there is one crucial piece of information that Eddie has shared with local security.
You all right, Minister?
The minister is a diabetic and has only a limited supply of medicine.
We need insulin desperately.
Something the terrorists were unaware of until now. The minister's diabetes is real enough. Making the most of an illness is a tactic that can help secure release or force the terrorists to give their location away.
She's in a bad way.
Insulin is a difficult medicine to come by in our war-torn Mostovia. On Eddie's advice, the pharmacies are being watched. It pays off. A young woman recognized as the sister of one of the terrorists is caught buying medicine. She's followed and leads the security forces straight to the barracks. The hostages and terrorists are now trapped in a siege scenario. The site is locked down, perimeters established by the local police, and lines of communications are opened up between the terrorists and the authorities.
I ask you if you could just give us a little bit more time.
It's a standoff. The 1972 Munich Olympics, a games devastated by an appalling act of terrorism. 9 kidnapped Israeli athletes were killed by the Black September group when an ill-planned police assault went disastrously wrong.
17 hours of bargaining had failed. The report's constant refrain is that nothing else was possible but a last determined effort to save the hostages by force.
It was to change the way governments deal with terrorists forever. And in Britain, the SAS created the counter-terrorism wing. With their distinctive black kit, in the regiment they are called a team. At any given time, a squadron is on standby to deal with anti-terrorism and rescue. It's divided into 2 units, sniper and assault teams. On arrival, the squadron move into a holding area close to the siege building. This is home until the operation is over. Their black kit is always to hand.
This is equipment used in an assault team, commonly known as the black kit. There are good, lightweight, strong, robust boots. There are fireproof overalls. In the sleeves, you'll have a slot, which is an identification mark, because obviously once you get dressed up, it's very, very difficult to recognise individuals. S10 respirator. This comes with a filter. This filter helps you against flash when you're going into the building. Your canister or filter. These keep out any gas, CS gas, and smoke. They have lightweight gloves. Nice and flexible, thin, so you can feel safety catches, triggers. Belt kit, Ops waistcoat. Knife, it's not for stabbing people with, it's for cutting ropes. If you're abseiling, you get hung up. Kevlar helmet, helps protect you. Get a shot in the head, you're dead. Also stops people from battering you with an iron bar or something as you run into the room, which obviously can be quite painful. Kevlar body armour with front and back ceramic plates. This weighs about 25 to 30 pounds. You wear all this equipment, shin guards, knee pads. Underneath that, you've got fireproof underwear, fireproof vest. But this kit can become too restrictive. You've still got to have that fluid motion, so you've got to balance speed of movement by personal safety. I'd rather be quick on my feet than bundled up like a knight in armour and end up dead. Okay, John, get the paper down. No chance getting a bet on here.
There has been a flurry of intelligence gathering. It's the commanding officer that will give the order to proceed with an assault, but it's down to Eddie to brief the team.
I believe that there is a leak further up the system in this job. just the way things are panning out, the whole thing was done too easily.